Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another anime reaction slash review video. Today I will be watching the new episode of Boruto. Unfortunately, I will not be doing it the old way I've been doing it because, as you can tell, I have to do a lot of editing for that and I have to lower the opacity on the video itself, which isn't very good because you can't really see. And that's all because YouTube strikes everything. I've tried everything. The past 2 days, I've been working on a My Hero review video for episode 4 and it got blocked in all countries at least 18 times, and I've re-rendered it and re-edited it and nothing. I give up. I will be doing reviews sort of like my friend Vez. If you haven't seen what he does, his link is down below. Check out his review videos. He does a really great job. I'm gonna be doing reviews sort of like that from now on. Without further ado, let's get started with this episode. So this is episode 132 of Boruto. It starts off pretty casual. It's just Boruto walking up to Naruto and they start talking about Momoshiki and how they need to train to get just a little bit stronger, and they don't know when he will attack again, so they need to get started on the training. So they go to meet Jiraiya. Did I say Momoshiki? If I did, my bad. I meant to say Urashiki. Oh well. Now when they get to Jiraiya, Jiraiya says that they both have to train together because their chakras are similar. And Naruto starts getting mad because he doesn't believe it. But come on, of course your chakras are similar. Boy, look at you two. And so Jiraiya says that Naruto's chakra was synchronized with Boruto's, and he says it's usually difficult, but it happened. And like I said last episode, Jiraiya's not dumb. Jiraiya knows. He knows something is up. These are my thoughts while I was watching, by the way. I was pretty sure he knew Boruto and Sasuke were from the future. So therefore, Jiraiya's assignment is to have both of them train to synchronize their chakra. That way they can get a collaboration jutsu going. And if they train hard enough, the collaboration jutsu just might put an end to Urashiki. So the two begin training by trying to form a Rasengan in between both of their bodies. And it proves to be a lot more challenging than Boruto or Naruto thought it would be. And as usual, they both get frustrated and mad that they can't do it right away, so they start fighting. So Jiraiya stops them and tells them that not every Jonin can synchronize chakra with someone else. So he starts explaining about flow, power, and nature. And so he says you need to match flow and power, and then you can change the nature. So they eventually figure out that they both have to breathe the same way. That way they can connect their power and flow to change the nature. But Boruto has other things on his mind. He keeps thinking about how Naruto looked like such a monster when he was in his Kyuubi mode. So after a long time of training, they still can't do it. Jiraiya falls asleep and he wakes up and tells them that he actually wasn't watching. So he asks if they were able to synchronize and they both just look at him like, no. So then he asks them what they're visualizing when they're trying to connect their chakra. And Boruto says he just imagines gathering chakra in the palm of his hand. So Jiraiya asks him if he can use the Rasengan. At this point, Naruto didn't know he could. So he starts questioning how he learned it and why he uses it. And Jiraiya says that he doesn't need to pry, and that he probably doesn't want to tell them because it's a secret. Like I said, Jiraiya is smart. You can't get anything past him. Then Boruto realizes that it's very simple. They need to concentrate on a single point like they do when they're creating a Rasengan. And Jiraiya says exactly. So Boruto explains to Naruto how they should connect their chakra to change the nature of their attack. And so Jiraiya gives him the ball, the rubber ball that Naruto used to train over and over again to learn how to use the Rasengan. And he gave him the rubber ball because he already knows Boruto knows how to use the Rasengan. So they skip the whole water balloon part and Naruto questions that and he gets mad, but unlike Naruto, Boruto is super quick to catch on. So it's just all left to blow up the rubber ball. Jiraiya said to concentrate his flow and power into it to pop it, and then they would be ready for the next step. So they put their hands together and they start connecting the flow and power of their chakra, but they just can't seem to pop it. So Jiraiya leaves him because he's got some research to do and the boys keep training. But as he's walking away, Jiraiya also can't help to think what will happen when they connect the jutsu. And he looks over at Sasuke and it pans back to the boys training and it looks like it's been all day, and finally the boys are getting closer and closer to popping the rubber ball, but they just can't seem to get to that last final part. Boruto cracks. In his head, he visualizes his dad as the beast, and the ball gets launched off into the air. So Boruto says they should take a break, but Naruto, being stubborn, decides he should keep training. He said he needs to get stronger to bring back his friend. And as we all know, that's Sasuke. You just can't help but feel that, you know? Eventually, Boruto realizes he's out of chakra and he falls down, and Naruto tries to help him and he reaches out to pick him up. Boruto cracks. He just sees the image of his dad slashing his hand and he slaps his hand away like a little bitch, and he's actually scared of his dad. He's scared of the monster inside of him, which is obviously just Kurama, but he's never seen this side of Naruto before. So he walks off to the forest, contemplating everything. So Boruto starts beating himself up, saying he's horrible for thinking his dad is a monster, and Naruto just looks down at the rubber ball, and he just looks sad. Then it pans over to Boruto just walking, and eventually he comes across his mom and uncle training. That's right, we have Neji and my girl Hinata training in one of their dojos at the Hyuga place. And Neji admits that Hinata's getting stronger. Hinata says, "It's all because of you, big brother." Big brother. Moment of silence. Moment of silence. Man, it really sucks that, I don't know, I feel like they didn't really show Boruto's interest for his uncle enough in the last episode, but this episode kind of makes up for it a little bit. And of course, this is back in the past, so there's the main house of the Hyuga family and then the side house. And of course, my boy Neji says that Hinata shouldn't treat Neji well or equal because they are not. Blah, 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 blah. Who cares, right? That shit's stupid. But of course, Hinata doesn't believe that, and she keeps on treating him as an equal because they are. They're just cousins. They're equals. And as Neji's leaving, he encounters Boruto, and he asks him what he was doing snooping around. And Boruto, being Boruto, almost blows that Hinata is his mom, but stops mid-sentence. And so Neji starts explaining the whole Hyuga clan again and blah 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 blah. And Boruto starts to learn more about the family's past, which really, the Hyuga's past was not really something to be proud of because they were fucking racist towards each other, which made no sense. And so they eventually go to a bridge, and Neji starts explaining that the beast inside of Naruto, the beast, is actually just Naruto losing control, but to not write him off as a monster. He knows Naruto's strong. Neji is one of the boys that back in the day believed in Naruto, even though he didn't really say it, or when he did say something, he sounded like a dick, but he knew deep down that Naruto was the shit. And then he goes and explains his cursed fate, and you just start to get the feels. You start to get in the feels. He says that Naruto taught him you can't write off anyone or tell him about fate, because a long time ago he was cursed with the fate. By being born into the branch family, he would never be considered an equal of the Hyuga clan, and Naruto changed that for him. So he tells Boruto this, and Boruto starts realizing just how cool of a guy Naruto really was. And he starts learning more about his family, and that life wasn't always black and white. He tells him a beautiful story that Naruto won't and will not ever let fate decide for him. He makes his own path. And then it flashbacks to Naruto fighting against Neji, and it's just so nostalgic. Boruto is listening to all of this, and he didn't know that any of this happened between his dad and his uncle Neji. And like I said, he just learned something every single day. And all of this snaps Boruto out of his funk. He runs back to Naruto to keep training. Then it pans over to my boy Sasuke and Jiraiya on top of a rooftop. And Jiraiya asks if he can have a favor from him. He wants to know if Sasuke could drop off food for Naruto and Boruto. So when he gets there, he sees Naruto laying on the ground looking up at the sky. And it begins to rain. And you know it's about to be sad. The sad music starts playing, and Sasuke and Naruto are standing next to a tree, and he starts saying that Naruto is worried about hurting Boruto, and he says that he didn't hurt him on purpose. And Naruto says, of course not, because he let himself get swallowed up by the Nine Tails, which means he's weak, and he knows he needs to get stronger. Then he asks Sasuke if he has a friend who's very important to him, and he just smiles. And then Naruto says he has a friend too, a rival even. But right now, they're fighting because they have different opinions. But he also said he can't ignore him. All of this just starts hitting you right in the feels. So Sasuke says that all the training with Jiraiya is to get stronger. And Naruto says it is. So he can talk to Sasuke one more time. But then he goes back to saying that it's for nothing because he hurt Boruto already. Then Sasuke decides to tell him a story about one of his friends. And of course, that friend is Naruto. He tells him that his friend chose a path that would be separate from him, and he believed that severing bonds would make him stronger, but he didn't understand. Almost like he didn't try to understand. That he had a good friend, and no one else popped in his mind but him. And in the end, his friend finally knocks some sense into him. His friend never gave up on him, and he never went back on his word. It was just such a beautiful moment, man. And so, hearing the story, Naruto gets pumped up and decides to get back to training. And it was just a very wholesome moment between Naruto and Sasuke, because Naruto tells him that he's actually a really nice guy. And Sasuke says, I don't know about that. And he walks away like a cool guy. Then it pans over to Sakura being exhausted from Lady Tsunade's training, blah 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 blah, who gives a fuck about her. But she runs into the one and only Sasuke. So he gets flustered and lets go of her because he bumped into her and he ran off like a little pussy. But he dropped something. So Sakura picks it up and realizes it didn't fucking say, it panned away. But it just said literally, this is, but I'm pretty sure she knows it's Sasuke. So then it pans back over to Jiraiya and Sasuke in the forest, and he says he's being extra nice to Naruto. And Sasuke says it's because he looks like someone he knows. But Jiraiya knows. He says Sasuke Uchiha. Because like I said, my boy knew. My boy's not dumb. You can't get anything past Jiraiya. He's the legendary Sannin. And then the episode ends. Such a good ending. It was a really good episode. It was wholesome. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was different. I hope it doesn't get copyrighted. It shouldn't. But if you guys like this, I will keep doing this. I'm going to be doing this for My Hero for the first 4 episodes. But thank you guys. Drop a like, leave a comment. My name is the Master Luchador, and have a great day.